Hi, I'm Chad with Move for Guitar. This lesson is from our series Guitar Chords for Beginners. In this lesson, I'm going to show you how to play an open C major 6 chord. First off, if you'd like to get the diagram for this chord, the chord chart, you can click the link on the screen and it'll take you to an eGuide that you can download for free. And this eGuide includes this chord as well as a whole bunch of other beginner chords that are really useful to learn. It has really common beginner chords as well as less common ones. And not only do I show you how to play the chords, give you diagrams for those, but I show you how to put the chords together into chord progressions. So it includes a whole bunch of chord progressions that I have taken from the chords in the eGuide and put them together in sequences so you can see how they go together in a musical situation, and it'll also give you ideas of how to put these chords together into your own chord progressions. So if you'd like to get that eGuide for free, just click the link on the screen and you can download that. Here's an open C major 6 chord or just a C6 chord. You can call it either name. And this is a less common beginner chord, so if you're just starting off learning chords, I recommend you look in the description and there's a link to the most important chords that you should learn first before you start learning the less common beginner chords. But I put this in the beginner chord series because it's an open chord. I think you'll be able to play it without too much difficulty if you've been playing open chords for a while now. You can definitely learn this before you start learning bar chords or more really advanced chords. And it's one of those chords that's less common but can add a lot of color to your playing and be really useful if you learn it early on. So with this chord, if you know the open A minor chord, which you should if you're taking this lesson, it's like that. But for this chord, instead of leaving the 5th string open, we're going to add our 4th finger on the 5th string 3rd fret. And that's the only difference between the open A minor chord and the open C major 6 chord. And technically, you could call this chord an open A minor / C chord. So you're technically learning 2 chords. They both have the same name and all the same notes. So you can really call it either. You can call this an open C major 6 chord or an open A minor / C chord. Just depends on the playing situation you're in. So the fingering, like I said, you just add your 4th finger on the 5th fret, on the 5th string, 3rd fret, when you're holding an A minor. But I'm going to go over the actual fingering with you just to make sure you're completely clear. So your 4th finger is on the 5th string, 3rd fret. Your 2nd finger is on the 4th string, 2nd fret. Your 3rd finger is on the 3rd string, 2nd fret. And your 1st finger is on the 2nd string, 1st fret. And then the 1st string is open. And you block out the 6th string. So you block that out. You can block it out with your 4th finger if you're capable, like that. Or if your thumb can reach comfortably, if you have big enough hands, you can block it out like that. Or if neither of those are comfortable, you can just try to avoid it as much as you can and start your strum on the 5th string. And if you hit it a little bit, it's not going to matter because that note actually is in the chord, but leaving this low E in makes it really muddy if you strum it too much. So either block it out or try to avoid it as much as possible. So you're going to have to really be on the tips of your fingers with this chord and have nice arches here in your joints. If any of your fingers are bent back or laying flat, you're going to mute out strings. So you really have to be on the tips of your fingers. And it's going to be a lot more difficult than the open A minor chord adding in that 4th finger, so don't get frustrated if it's difficult to you at first. And if you really struggle with it, just walk away from it, learn other chords that are easier, and then come back to it. And eventually it'll become easy to you. Like I said, if you'd like to get the chord chart for this, as well as a bunch of other beginner chords and chord progressions, click the link on the screen. You can download that eGuide for free, and it'll be really useful to you. So that's an open C major 6 chord.